I'm calling about the old GOP. Ronald Reagan for taking down the Soviet Union, and by that time in '89 when it fell, it was really just a despotic gangster state. Didn't have any, political philosophy other than steal as much as you can, and you have to steal because the guy above you's stealing, and if he thinks you're not stealing, he's afraid you're going to turn him in. That's that kind of thing. That's what happens with the kind of corruption is you have to be corrupt because everybody else thinks you're going to be a whistleblower, even though maybe whistleblowers have no place to go.
It's almost a survival strategy.
It's survival. That's where we're at. That's where we're going. Yeah. And that's why the Russian army is so bad in Ukraine.
Yeah.
Because everybody's stealing. They're having cardboard in their armor vests instead of, steel plates and tires that have rotten rubber. Anyway, the point is, we all think the Cold War ended because you're in this constant struggle against these gangsters, okay? Yep. We thought democracy would go east, but the corruption came west through this oil money, okay? We are about to lose possibly the final battle of the Cold War because these guys are obviously Russian operatives.
Who are these guys that you're talking about?
In league.
You're talking about Trump? Yeah. Trump whether he's a Russian operative or whether he's just friendly with the Russians, I'm sorry. Our hands are turned upward, our palms showing, saying we need to turn our hands over and make a fist. And the way you make a fist is by calling them out for what they are. There is absolutely no doubt. Where are the investigations into the bomb threats? Where is Merrick Garland? Where are the audits? Where are we getting to the understanding of exactly what Russia did? I've heard silence. Scott, it's entirely possible that we just lost the damn election, and that we don't need to work ourselves into fits and anger and threats and whatnot. I think it's extremely likely that we lost the election. I think a lot of Americans particularly apparently Hispanic men, have no interest in voting for a black woman for president.
I'm not trying to say this is a threat. I'm talking about quit with the circular firing squad.
What circular?
We need to pull it together. Obama's. They're attacking Obama. They're attacking Biden. They're attacking. All this stuff.
I'm not attacking any of those people. I think we can look back and we can figure out where we lost the election. We can see. Part of it was Joe Biden making a decision quite some time ago that he was definitely going to pick a woman and a black woman rather than the most qualified person. Now it turned out Kamala Harris rose to the occasion. I thought she did great, but that still worked against her. Number one. Number two, you've got a Republican Party that was willing to exploit that in a craven racist way. Number three, you've got a massive right-wing media influence over a 40-year period by a group of right-wing billionaires, the Murdoch family, at the front of that line. The Democrats never did anything like that. In fact, when we pitched it to Democrats in 2007, when Air America was around, and we went to Washington, D.C., and Bernie organized a meeting with a whole bunch of Democratic members of Congress and the Senate. One of those senators who then went on to lose the election 8 years ago, said, no, we shouldn't get involved in this. This should be the free market. Democrats have blown a whole lot of opportunities. And then on top of that, you had Bill Clinton and Barack Obama both embracing neoliberalism and not doing a damn thing about it. And neoliberalism is what is killing the middle class and what is causing people to be so pissed off. They could have ended free trade. They could have brought our jobs back home. They didn't. They could have elevated unions. They could have reversed right to work. They didn't. They could have had card check.
Biden did.
But I know Biden started doing these things, but people aren't going to see the consequences of that for 5 or 10 years.
Yes, and that's why you have to fight with the weapons that you have, and one of the weapons that we have is to be very honest about this. This is Eastern corruption. They've gotten into the GOP. They've possibly gotten into the electoral system. They definitely were phoning in bomb threats because that's
that was, there was the Russians. I mean, Brad Ratzenberger said, it was the Russians.
We have to fit.
Yeah, and probably it accounted for some of the loss in Georgia. No doubt about it. Scott, thank you for the call. 45 minutes past the hour.
You're listening to Thom Hartmann. Visit thomhartmann.com for audio and video archives.
Bernie says it should come as no surprise that a Democratic Party that has abandoned working class people can't win an election. I mean, surprise, surprise. We'll be right back.